Hey everybody,
I'm Mo.
and I'm Katie, and this is
the Mo and Katie Show. It's been a while.
It's
What?
been
A minute.
A
Why do we
minute.
always say that? I feel like every time
It's been a while.
it's like, hey, let's
we're
record
here.
a
Just
podcast.
be grateful.
And 6 weeks later, we'll pop into your Spotify and give you another one.
Is this the first one we've done in 2025? I don't know.
Probably.
It doesn't matters not. I am really excited because I really like looking back at the calendar and marking dates, and we are at about the 5-year mark.
Crazy.
Because, yes, it is 5 years. You know why? Because in February of 2020, we went to California for the first Story Standing Ovation at the Writer's Loft.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? That's a
Narrative Loft.
Narrative Loft, thank you. It's a cool space. And that is where we sat down and wrote down all the things that we wanted our podcast to be 5 years ago. And then we came back, and about a month later, recorded it in March of 2020. We all know what happened in March of 2020.
Election year.
The world shut down. But just...
That was a scary voice.
I know, right? But I just think it's cool that we've been doing this for 5 years. Yeah. And we've been through a lot of iterations. And we personally have been through a lot of evolution and iterations too. And here we are. And I love it.
And we'll see you in 6 weeks.
Bye. Okay, bye. No. So yeah, I just think it's really cool that we have been at this for 5 years.
But I think the interesting thing is when we talked about, and this was getting ready for our TED Talk, when we talked about like, what is it that we do? And we're both believers in asking why. Yes. And we finally got down to it. We said it's because we like to do pattern interrupts or disrupt the norm or disrupt monotony.
That's right.
And I think once we landed on that, we became very clear on this is why we do things. Is to disrupt monotony.
Because if you think about it, you go through your life day after day, week after week, year after year. Everything has the potential to just be the same. And unless somebody challenges that in you, there's no reason to question it. You just keep doing the same thing, and we get stuck in these ruts, and we wonder, like you even wonder, like, when was the last time I laughed? Or when was the last time I wrote someone a note? Or when was the last time I received a spontaneous gift or gave a spontaneous gift? And it's so easy to get in those ruts. And I think it is detrimental to our mental well-being and to our personal skills to disrupt that stuff.
And I don't think we realize how much we miss it until we do it and we get that back in our life.
Absolutely.
Which is why we want to talk about other positive disruptors.
Yes.
So we like to be disruptors for good. Call it positive disruptors.
Sometimes disruptors for
disrupting. But so we want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about somebody that I've only learned of while we started quartetting. So I didn't know about Victor Borge.
Victor Borge.
Or Borge, if you're reading along.
Borge.
But like you guys kept talking about this guy. I'm like, I don't want to watch. And this is like an old film, almost black and white. It was like, I think one of the very first color things ever produced.
Yeah.
And this guy comes out, there's this grand piano, like 1,000-seat stadium or auditorium or I guess theater.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't want to watch this. And this guy came out, piano player. I don't think he played the piano for the first 15 minutes of his set.
His whole shtick.
I'm like, well, I can do that.
Watch me not play the piano.
But I will say, and the reason I want to talk about him first out of the year is because it was such a shock and it disrupted my pattern. It did a pattern interrupt. And I think for a lot of people, and of course then it became expected. But for those of you who have not seen Victor Borge, he is hilarious. His physical comedy.
It's so good.
And the fact that he's a very, very talented pianist.
Yes. Oh my gosh, yeah. He can legit play. So which makes it even better.
We've seen some comics get up there and not play.
I think the person that really introduced and really we went on a deep dive with was Todd.
It was Todd and Janine were both for me.
Janine
Janine brought him up, and then you knew who he was, and then Todd talked about him.
So in December of a couple of years ago, I don't even know what years are anymore, but in December we went to Cleveland. Oh. So Todd and Allison and I, shout out to Todd, shout out to Allison. Hi guys, love you. We went to Cleveland to do some gigs, and Mo went along to help like very, very wonderfully help us with just logistics and setup. And it was really fun. We had a really good time. But we stayed up really late playing, number one, playing Karma King, which is one of our favorite card games. But we also went on a deep dive of Victor Borge videos.
Yep.
And just really enjoy. And the thing is, you have to have a high level of skill to do what he does. It's not just a throwaway thing. It's very intentional, which I think is important. And it's very high level, also important. And it just appeals to a really advanced sense of humor where you start to look at the multifacetedness of it and you go like, okay, this is brilliant.
Yeah. He is, talented, but, and a lot of it is the delivery. I have always said this about comedians is it's not so much the content as it is the delivery.
Yeah.
And I think that's so important. And his delivery of his shtick, and he's patient. Yeah. Like some of his shticks require him not to move, him not to react, and he is so patient and so talented. And what I love about that is when I think about an old man, because I don't think he's still alive, right?
No, he passed away in he's passed away in 2000.
Okay.
So he's been gone 25 years.
So significantly older, but when I think about old, it's kind of like finding out your parents are funny, right? But
which you've been doing, actually.
I have been. I know, but it's like you see this old guy and he comes out in tux, he looks classy, and as soon as he starts his shtick, you're like, man, old people can be funny. I don't know why I think that's so bizarre, but I think it's again, it's a pattern interrupt because you see this older gentleman with a grand piano on stage and that's it. And
you have an expectation.
And he breaks that expectation. And I think that's really, really cool. And he breaks it in such a entertaining, and you look at the audience and there's young people and old people and people of all walks of life. Yep. And they're all entertained by this one guy who is breaking the script for what you would expect of a guy in a tuxedo coming out with
so I figured out, and this took me a minute to make the connection, but do you know where I first actually heard Victor Borge's work? I don't know if I told you this or not. So I don't know if any of you, those of us of a certain age, if any of you were into the Electric Company when you were kids.
I was not allowed.
I know, which makes me really sad.
My dad, who was a funny older man, now passed, would not let me watch Sesame Street or the Electric Company because it was a show for babies.
And Electric Company,
I was 2 years old.
Was so clever. It was so well done.
But like Sesame Street was the same, like kind of caliber, right?
More so, but Electric Company was just a little tiny bit more like elevated, a little more like school age versus preschool.
Okay.
And a lot of notable actors, Rita Moreno.
Were they not puppets?
No,
no
puppets on Electric Company at all.
I wouldn't know.
Electric Company. We're gonna turn it on.
We're just rubbing salt in
power. Morgan Freeman, Rita Moreno, a lot of notable actors. Victor Borge did a shtick on Electric Company.
Oh, cool.
There was this song called Punctuation. And again, this was more school age stuff. So it goes, punctuation, punctuation. They are the little marks that use their influence to help a sentence make more sense. Yeah, so what they would do is they would read a sentence, or he would read a sentence, and he would make certain sound effects.
I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah, for like, he would be like, the boy who is sitting, like that would be his mark for a comma.
But that's something he did on Electric Company?
Brilliant.
Or he did on stage
He did it on Electric Company, and I have a record. 33.
Actually, those are coming back.
Vinyl.
That's coming back, yeah?
It was on my Electric Company record.
But he's reading, not singing.
He's reading in between the whole company singing. And I didn't know for years, like later, much later, I put the connection. I was like, oh my gosh, that's Victor Borge who was doing that.
I wonder how we get it. So we really should have done research before. But I'm curious how he got his start. Like how, again, to be a disruptor and a disruptor for good, you have to realize you have a talent. You have to realize there's an expectation, and you have to break that expectation. I'm wondering what his backstory is.
Yeah, so we'll have to do it.
We'll have to do research the next time we decide to
do research
in person.
When we decide to do a podcast, but whatever.
Yeah. Anyway, I just think it's really powerful because I look up to people because until we sat down and we figured out like what is it that not so much what we do, Why do we do what we
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
And it really is a pattern interrupt, positive disruption, disrupting monotony, breaking the script, whatever you want to call it. And then as you start looking at all these other people who have done that and created, you know, inventions or things that we take for granted, or just, you know, taking a stand for something, I think those are all positive disruptors. And I love kind of looking at that. But Victor Borge was pivotal for me because, again, it's a talented artist.
Yep.
Who does something. There's another layer of talent, which is his comedy, and I'm so in awe by what he does, and I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do.
And again, if he wasn't a gifted piano player, it wouldn't have the impact that it does.
Correct.
If he was a crappy piano player, it would not be as. But the fact that he plays very well and he can play poorly within playing well on purpose.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't seen this guy,
so good.
Yeah, it's fascinating.
And I think it resonates with us, Mo, because we have really landed. So this past, like the best, kind of the end of last year and the beginning of this year, Mo and I have really landed the thing that we really love to do. Like if we had to label this career path that we're on, and this is a second act for both of us, and it's very exciting, and we're really, really blessed and lucky and grateful to have a second act career.
Yeah.
But what we've really landed on is the corporate MC world, that we like to go into events that are happening anyway, that normally would be just kind of boring and blah.
Like speaker.
Yeah, like
speaker.
Here's the next person, and to turn it into something that's full of unexpected laughter and costumes and shtick and theme and all of those things.
Pretty much us.
Ta-da! So,
but again, it's a script breaking. It's a positive disruption,
and it's an interrupt. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
It's a positive interruption of what people expect things to be.
Yeah.
And man, don't we need that right now in our world? Like we've got so many things that are challenging for us to wrap our brains around.
Yeah.
It's so nice to have, like, you think something's going to be the same old, and then it changes. It makes me think of like Southwest flight attendants.
Yes.
How you expect when you get on a plane to be told how to put your oxygen mask on. But recently we were on a flight, and the first thing the flight attendant said was, "Whose baby is this?" And everybody looks at me and they go, "Now that we have your attention." But like, I was kind of mad that I fell for it, but at the same time,
that's
like,
the power of it. Yeah, but that's the power of it. Again, those pattern interrupts. And I think what I like about Victor Borge is what's the quote about, you can take things seriously, but you don't have to take yourself seriously. And I think that that's kind of the world we're in right now, where there's a lot of serious stuff going on, but there's always an opportunity for us to not take ourselves too seriously. So we're stuck in this environment, and it's what's within the realm of the possible that we can do to break that up for people, because like you said, I think we need that more than ever.
Absolutely.
So
our challenge to you is
always homework.
Dun dun dun. How can you positively pattern interrupt in your world? So how can you bring something, respectful and appropriate, maybe, and unexpected into a meeting? How can you...
Or the dinner table.
How can you bring... Can you tell the story really quickly of when you, your email sign-offs when you worked at the Pentagon?
Oh, yeah.
Because I think this is a great example, because you had to operate within certain parameters, but you were able to just...
Yeah, so...
Go ahead.
Two different trails I'll talk about. One was between me and a senior master sergeant, and so officers enlisted technically can't be friends, or it's called fraternization, so you can't do that. But one of the guys who worked for me, Mike Steinkraus, he and I both loved Fletch and Fletch Lives, so the Chevy Chase movies. So our signature, like our emails would be, Captain Barrett, this and that, work, VR, very respectfully, Senior Master Sergeant Steinkraus. P.S. Love your body, Larry, which is a line from Fletch. I would write back, Senior Master Sergeant Steinkraus, thank you for the information, work, Captain Barrett. P.S. Defenseless babies. And so our email trail, and I always think about anybody who went and audited our email, would be like, there's something about defenseless babies.
Something about Larry's body.
Yeah, and I don't know who the Underhills are, and then it was another group. It was me, Sheila, who was another officer, and then Jamie Wardrop, and all three of us were Friends fans, to the point where they called me Chauncey. One was Manana, and one was Regina. So Regina Phalange, Manana. If you know Friends, you understand these names. But our emails would be the same thing. We'd be like, hey, you know, Colonel Wiles, we got this, and Senior Master Sergeant so-and-so has this, and it'd be like, love Chauncey. And again, unless you knew the history of friends, so it was like, it wasn't like we were trying to pull one over, but it was a way, again, of connecting and breaking the script a little bit so that it was still a professional, respectful, there was, you know, all those boundaries were respected. But at the same time, there's this little thing at the end that says, hey, I see you, right? So that's the thing that we're big on is schwack. See, hear, understand, appreciate, and connect.
Yep.
And it was a way of professionally, respectfully, within the bounds of what is allowed in the military, to still say, I see you, I know what you value, I understand friends, or I understand Fletch, and to connect with somebody within those bounds. So I think about it all the time. And again, really, I think about it in terms of, like some CNN reporter, not that our emails were that contentious, were like P.S. Love your body, Larry.
So experts are currently reviewing this email.
Where's Larry? What kind of body does Larry have? Larry is only a torso.
Why are we talking about it?
Oh, wait. We need to stop looking about Larry. There are defenseless babies somewhere in the Pentagon
One of the
area.
babies might be named Larry. We don't know.
Is there a defenseless baby named Larry with a nice body? I think about it all the time, and I just, it's those pattern interrupts to stay within the realm of what's professional and respectful, and still getting work done, not like just goofing off, but a way to, again, see somebody, understand, and communicate and connect on a level, on a more personal level. So
and I would venture to say that is part of what makes you feel like a human inside of being you're working for the government. It is very like, get it done. Everything's a number kind of thing, but it's something where you have that connection, and connection. I think it's the most important thing. It's the most important thing is to have a connection, to feel seen, heard, understood, understanded is almost what I said.
Understanded.
Would you like to feel understanded? But to feel that way from someone else instead of just, hey, we're all cogs in a machine doing the work. So I think that's really, really important.
Yeah. So that ties into the takeaway. So find a way to break the script, to pattern interrupt in one of the things that you do every day. So again, whether it's the way you sign off an email, the way it's how you behave at the dinner table, but find some way to do a positive interrupt, disrupt the monotony, break the script, pattern interrupt, all the things, be a disruptor for good is basically, that's your challenge. And we'd like to know what you did because we want to steal your ideas.
Yeah, that's right. So. And it could be that you are interacting with someone who is on kind of this hamster wheel of regularity, like someone who is checking out your groceries.
And you know what's really cool is when a hamster's running and you just grab the wheel and the hamster's like flipping around. Do that to somebody. Like if you see somebody on a hamster wheel, just grab the wheel and let them spin just for a second.
And when you do it, tell them it was Mo's
Jenny.
idea.
Jenny, Katie. I just blame Jenny.
Upstairs.
Sorry.
Wow, Jenny's getting blamed and she's not even here.
Well, somewhere there's a hamster on a wheel getting thrown upside down. I'm so sorry.
Tell Jenny. She's upstairs. This is the podcast where we blame Jenny for things and she's not even here to defend herself.
She's here. She just can't hear us.
So it doesn't count. So yes, grab someone's hamster wheel today with their consent. We want
unexpected twist, something playful today. We want you to disrupt something with an unexpected, playful twist. That is your challenge.
That's your challenge.
Let us know what it is.
Let us know. We are on all of the social things. We are on
not all of them.
Pretty much all of them.
Sure.
LinkedIn,
MySpace, Facebook Marketplace.
I wonder if MySpace is still like. Do I still have a profile on MySpace?
You do. I logged into it yesterday. Should really change your password.
You used to be able to like put a song and rate your friends. All right, someday we're going on a deep dive of MySpace.
Not right now.
Not today. But we are on all the socials, Insta, Facebook, Insta. That's how the kids say it. Insta. Bro. Don't be sus.
You ate that.
You left no crumbs. All right, go disrupt things for good. And just remember, from the monumental to the mundane,
life is filled with unforgettable experiences.
We'll see you next time. Bye.
Sus. Really?
We're going to talk about your butt crack. You need to turn the camera on.
Stop talking about my butt crack.
You started it.
I most certainly did
Yes,
not.
you did. Here we are. February of 2020. Yeah, which was 6 years ago.
5, but okay.
5 years. Oh, 2020, yeah. Walk into this. It's just cool. I like to mark things like that.
My dogs like to mark things too, but you don't see me going out and doing it.
This is good because we need bloopers. Wow, that was an epic eye roll.
They all are. I'm talking about my butt crack.
Hey, everybody.
Did you just flip your hair at me? Okay, we wasted 2 minutes and 15 seconds of tape.
Valuable tape. This is the most.
I don't know.